some time.
Yes.
Does anyone have a suggestion for a good budget? Okay. Ragupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. Ragupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. Ratre Indra Divase Kam Chare Bhajato Sitaram. Ratre Indra Divase Kam Chare Bhajato Sitaram. Ragupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. Ragupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. And next verse is my grandmother's edition, but I want to remember her, so I'll say, Ratre Indra Divase Topam Kyare Bhajato Sitaram. Ratre Indra Divase Topam Kyare Bhajato Sitaram. Ragupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram. Gopal means mischief, so that's what she would tell us that what we were doing. Yes.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are not Arjuna. How do we connect the Bhagavad Gita and do everyday Purushartha? The Bhagavad Gita is for everyday. It is precisely meant to be able to live this knowledge in the everyday life. That is what its purpose is. That is why we study it. Because we may not be Arjuna, but we seem to be, especially in these days, people seem to be busier than Arjuna was during the war. It is go all the time. That is how the society is. And to a certain extent, we have bought into that psyche of run. And what the Gita's contribution to the day-to-day life cannot be underscored enough. We can take it point by point. Point number one, it makes us relax. Just listening to the shlokas itself is relaxing. And even more relaxing is the message of the shlokas. The message of the shlokas is whatever you do, you are okay. The Bhagavad Gita, because of Arjuna's responding to Arjuna's predicament, understands this very well, that everybody cannot be Adi Shankara. Forget everybody being Arjuna. Everybody cannot be Adi Shankara. At 8 years old, to leave home is unheard of. After emotionally manipulating the mother to give him sannyasa, saying that crocodile will leave, and then she said, yes, yes, you can take sannyasa, and then what did he say? Then she said, come, I'll attend to your wounds, and lunch is ready. And he said, what lunch? I take diksha, I am a sannyasi, I am off. How many people have that vairagya? One, that is him. He himself is the example for himself. So, Bhagavad Gita understands that this is not a possibility for people. Yet, the knowledge is not just a possibility, but a necessity. Regardless of gender, regardless of your status in life, regardless of whether you are from India or from some other place, some other country, doesn't matter. This knowledge has to be invariably had. Not for going to heaven, not for having some amorphous understanding of freedom or whatever, just to be able to relate freely with everybody and everything in our own lives. We need the Bhagavad Gita like we need water and food. Definitely. Because it says the message, this is the second reason why it helps. Because its message is put in the day-to-day life. It speaks to us personally. And in addressing Arjuna, it talks to all of us together. And it says, this is what you need to do. Meaning, the other Purusharthas, what are they? Dharma, Artha, Kama. Now, ideally speaking, we swallow the Purusharthas and make 4 into 1. How do we do that? We look at each one very closely. So forget Dharma for the time being, let us take Artha. We take Artha. Artha means security. In the sentence, I want security, there is a small problem. What is the problem? I assume that I am already insecure. Based on that assumption, I look for something called security. And where do I look? Everywhere other than myself. Like the thief who, the story in what is that story? The 2 travelers on the train, and then one of them hid his money in the other person's pillow. So that would be the last place he would look. Similarly, I want security, and where am I going to look for this security? Not in I, Atma, but in Anatma, not I. So I look for the security every place except where it is. This is Artha. Alright? So suppose I see this as what? I am, what I want is to be a secure person. I rephrase the question. Instead of saying I'm looking for security, security not being an object, I say I want to be a secure person. And a secure person is a happy person. That includes Kama. So now Artha and Kama have become one. Similarly, I'm not looking for happiness as an object. The same logic applies. I'm looking for the happy person. I want to be happy. And then Artha and Kama become one. So how many Purusharthas we have? Now two. Okay. I took a little while, but now two. 2 Purusharthas. See how 4 have become 2? And Dharma is a way to qualified to understand that the security is centered on me, happiness is centered on me. The dharma also is enveloped in here. So now only one is left. What is that?
Moksha.
So then this is this is the place we should go in our lives. This is where to go. This is how to come to this understanding. That moksha is the only thing I'm looking for. Freedom from insecurity, freedom from unhappiness, freedom from conflict, dharma. So that is really, when moksha is approached, all the other things come. And when moksha is missed, everything is missed. This is the basic premise of the Bhagavad Gita, but with a lot of accommodation. The Gita is so compassionate, Lord Krishna is so compassionate, he understands that people cannot get there. It's one thing to sit and listen and say, okay, moksha is the only purushartha, but it is quite another thing to actually understand it. So, in the process, desires will come. And desires, what kind of desires? The ones that have to be fulfilled right here, right now, badly. So then, therefore, the Bhagavad Gita gives us a way to lead what is called in the regular world, normal life. Right? So, in the life of pursuing what I want and at the same time pursuing the knowledge. This is a possibility because even now, as we are studying in chapter 4, there are many descriptions of the Grihastha Jnani, a Jnani who is able to pursue many things and still gain the knowledge. Rare, but it is there. And so the point is to get to the place where I put myself, my mind, my heart, my senses, and my desires on a diet of karma yoga. The diet of karma yoga means naturally I am selecting what I will pursue. Like the person who is on a diet. Sometimes what is that? Keto diet. There is a diet. And so certain things are not eaten and certain only things are eaten. And so like this, so many diets are there. And a diet means you are very, very particular of what you ingest. And the karma yogi is very, very particular of what they pursue. So, dharma is of course pursued, and then in the artha kama, I exercise discipline and viveka, discrimination. Because of this discipline and discrimination, many things that I want will not fit the bill. Either they will be illegal, or they will be immoral, or they will cause lots of problems, and so I cannot pursue them. So naturally, being on this diet, things drop. And then the person who is on the diet becomes healthy, right? Because of the diet, the person becomes healthy. Here also, because of the diet of karma yoga, the person sheds the raga dveshas. Excess raga dvesha are shed. Just like in any other diet, excess toxins are shed. So many toxins we accumulate by eating whatever is offered, and then we need to clean it out. So similarly, for the excess raga dveshas, or I should say excessively pressurizing raga dvesha. Raga dvesha is not the problem. We saw sarvesham buddhau raga dveshau vyavasthitau. It is Ishvara's srishti to have raga dveshas. It is Ishvara's creation. But to succumb to them, that is to do with my free will. So if I put the heart on a diet of raga dvesha, then that is what will happen. I will just go astray. But here, the diet is not raga dvesha, the diet is karma yoga. So automatically the toxins of raga dvesha is shed, the person becomes emotionally healthy, spiritually mature, to pursue, to want to pursue this knowledge. And then, since Karma Yoga cannot be done without Ishvara, I invite Ishvara as the proxy doer, and then I accept whatever comes as prasadam. So this way one grows, and while taking care of family, while having a job, while doing all the things that one wants to do. The only difference between somebody who is not exposed to this knowledge and the one who is exposed to this knowledge is that the one who has exposure to Vedanta pursues all the things for the self-growth rather than karma phala, pursues everything in order to grow to this knowledge, to love this knowledge and to be in this knowledge, whereas the person outside of this knowledge becomes a karma phala holic, wants karma phala all the time. So this is the main difference, and therefore bringing Ishvara in helps with that growth. Equipped with that growth, one becomes extremely mature and one gains the knowledge. This is how the Bhagavad Gita, in these ways, helps us to pursue this knowledge, even though we may not have the ability to give up everything. Very, very important. I have a difficult time reconciling the expansive and accepting nature of the knowledge and the rigid, dogmatic nature of many relatives and acquaintances who spend much of their time praying, studying scriptures, or telling their children they should pray. How to distinguish between discipline and dogma? How to get along with such people? So, discipline and dogma. Discipline is something you do for your own growth. Discipline succeeds only when there is choice. We saw that this afternoon actually in the verses that we studied. Discipline works because 11 kinds of yajnas were given, and all of them work why? Because the yogi who wants to transform himself has chosen them. I am the one who is choosing, correct? And so that is why it is called discipline. In the Shastra, discipline is called upasana. And that means you have chosen it. It is not something that the Shastra is putting on you or somebody else, some other unnamed person is forcing you to do this. You have chosen this because there are 10, 11 different types of yajnas, and then I have chosen this particular discipline for my life because I value this, or I have a hard time with this, so I want to overcome this. So therefore, I have chosen it. That is what is spiritual discipline. Dogma, it becomes when you feel that somebody is imposing it on you. That's the difference. Whether it's family or relatives, as the questioner asked, or whether it is some other outside force, there is a pressure. Somebody says, you have to do this. Why? Because the forefathers did it like this, foremothers did it like this, and this is how we do it in our family, etc., etc., etc. That is why it does not succeed. That is why that is why it becomes dogmatic, dogged, and so that is how I would distinguish. Spiritual discipline is something I want to do. It is initiated by me wanting to be more accommodative, as the questioner said, more expansive, and then this is what it is. Now, just because I value discipline and I have this understanding of vastness, expansiveness, it doesn't mean that everybody in the world will be like that. Why should they? They won't. Everybody, there are many different kinds of people in the world, as many people, as many differences, and they will all be in their own way, however they want. So, as somebody who is studying this knowledge, what should I do? Give them the freedom to be who they are. And if their behavior irks me or pains me, especially because the people are close to me, then there is a hook somewhere. It behooves me to look inside and say, why is somebody's action bothering me? Because they are relatives, it doesn't bother me more. If supposing a stranger on the street was dogmatic or they had some way of doing this, would it still bother me? This is the question to ask. And in Vedanta, it all, this way or that way, comes back to oneself. I am the problem, I am the solution. In fact, I am never the problem, so I don't need a solution. Which is Swamiji used to always say that psychology has no solution and Vedanta has no problem. Very beautiful. And so, if somebody, this goes with anything, if somebody's thing is bothering me, it's an opportunity to just be with myself and see why. The answers will come. They often do. How to know if one is making spiritual progress? Is it a gut instinct? Is it as simple as noticing that one is feeling more peaceful? You know what? That's a great start. It is not easy to feel peaceful. If you are peaceful, no question about it, definitely you are growing. Congratulations, that's wonderful. Peaceful is wonderful because rarely do we can say, I feel peaceful. And so that is the start. Swami Paramarthananda ji has a very interesting scale of ascertaining self-growth and spiritual growth for oneself. And Swami Paramarthananda ji likes always to talk in initials, like acronyms. So he has made an acronym to ascertain spiritual growth, and he calls it FIR. What is this FIR? Poetry? No. The first is we notice some changes within ourselves, and first is the frequency of the outbreaks. What is this outbreaks? More drama, no Rama. Okay? Yeah. So, when there is more drama, very little drama where in me, as me, then that is like a frequency of the outburst of things not going my way. Perhaps before one would have it, 3 times a week, or even 3 times a day. Let's be very, very generous. 3 times a day. Then slowly the frequency decreases with the exposure to Vedanta Shastra. Then it becomes maybe 3 times a week. Then he says maybe it is once a week. So the frequency of how quickly and easily I get agitated reduces. Then before there was a kind of an intensity. The drama in my life used to be, let us say, very, very intense. Perhaps, just as a joke, perhaps all the dishes would have to be replaced in the house in the beginning, right? And then now, with the help of Vedanta, the intensity has also reduced. I have found healthier ways of healthier outlets for my outbursts without targeting myself or others or the dishes. I have learned to let go of the pain without doing that. So that is the intensity of the affliction reduces. This is the second, indicator of spiritual growth. Then finally, that is the F and the I we have covered are recovery time. Recovery time also reduces. Before, I would spend 1 week in bed if I was upset. Now what? I don't need to go to bed at all. I'm able to just manage and take some time, do some deep breaths, whatever it is, and be back in action. So this is how one can tell. In the class, it was explained how unkempt, unbridled desire leads to anger. There was also an advice given on dealing with anger during satsang. How to deal wisely with fear and grief. They seem to be linked to desires in a different way. Yes, it is very astute of you to observe that. Yes, desire is connected to anger, and then desire is also connected to fear, simply because we can say that I'm afraid I won't get what I want, right? Sometimes I'm afraid because I may get it. Because there is an expression, be careful what you wish for, right? You may get it. So there is the fear of getting, there is the fear of not getting, and the grief, the anger usually turns into grief of disappointment, not getting. So this is generally speaking. So how to deal with fear and grief? Let us take fear. Often one is afraid of fear. One is not afraid of that thing that one is afraid of, because the fear itself is very fearsome. I'm afraid of fear. Then the fear attaches to so many things. Most of the time I don't have a chance to even look into that, because the fear is so fearsome, fearful, that I'm just afraid of the fear itself. What to do now? Have a cup of tea with the fear. Just bring out, ask the fear to come up. And this is what, in Vedanta, this is what is said. Spend some time with the fear. In the Shastra it is said that when, I forget, there was a Subhashita. Subhashita means these little verses that sometimes we refer to. In the verse it said something like, when I can look at fear itself in the face, it runs away, it walks away with the tail between the legs, like a dog. It walks away. Because this is what I have to tell myself. I am not afraid of fear. And then you say, I have the Upanishad with me. I have Bhagavad Gita with me. I have the blessings of the sadhus with me. I have the blessings of the Shastra. And I can face the fear. Let the fear come up. And there will be a lot of physical discomfort, emotional discomfort. Waves of some discomfort may be sensed in the body, in the mind, and one will feel like getting up and going, and just keep a japa handy. Om Namah Shivaya, Narayana Narayana, Rama Rama Rama, whatever you want to say. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You can say that. You can say something, whatever you can remember, something, so that Rama is with you. You are not doing this alone. Krishna is with me. I am not doing this alone. So fear is there because of the one is afraid of fear. This is just at the level of psychology. At the level of Paramarthika, same thing you can do with grief. Grief also you can do this. Allow the grief to come up. Usually, if you want to suppress it with some distraction, I want to get busy, I want to read something, I want to watch something, I want to run around, go somewhere. And even if I don't have something to do, I'll make myself have something to do because it is so uncomfortable. To sit with the discomfort is a blessing. And so I sit with the discomfort. This is how the emotional growth slowly happens when I am comfortable being uncomfortable. Because the first comfortable is because of Shastra Prasada, and the second uncomfortable is because of the emotional turmoil. So I can put the flashlight, the torchlight of Sakshita, Sakshitvam, and say the Sakshi is free of guilt, free of hurt, free of fear, free of sorrow. So I observe the fear, observe the sorrow. This is a sadhana. This is a practice. And then on the level of knowledge, we have in the Brihadaranya Upanishad a sentence that says, Vaitadhi Dhayam Bhavati. And in the Taittiriya, I'll translate that first. So that means fear is the effect of duality. Out of duality comes fear. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad, the same thing is put in a slightly different way. Udaram antaram urute adhatasya bhayam bhavati. Tasya bhayam bhavati. For such a person, fear comes. For whom ud aram antaram urute. For the one who makes even the slightest distinction. How slight? Like the blade of a sword. How slight is that? How sharp is that? How slight, yeah. Like a blade of a sword. If I make a distinction between myself and another, fear ensues. Fear comes. So this fear, very interesting to think about this. So between myself and another, even though we translate it sloppily and say fear comes from a second thing, it's not just a second thing. Second thing means if there is an ant, will I be afraid of it? Not at all. But if there is a cockroach, it's a different matter. But if it's not about a second thing. It's about a thing that could be bigger than me. Others than me means which can swallow me up. I am nothing. So all fear is actually, according to the Shastra, the Upanishad, the fear of becoming nothing and nobody. Fear of being eaten up, decimated, and worse still, not mattering at all. This is the cause of the fear the Shastra gives, and the Shastra itself is the antidote to the fear. This is what it is. Because what does the Shastra say? You matter. In fact, what we call matter doesn't matter at all. It is mithya. Matter is mithya. You are the only one that matters. Why? There is nothing like you. There is nothing unlike you. There is nothing other than you. There is nothing to compete with you. There is nothing you have to take care of. All that is there is you. And you, not a miserable you, not a wanting you, but you who are glorious, limitless, free of the nature of Ishvara. You are one with Ishvara already. This is another reason for fear. See, it's very interesting. Shastrically speaking, is that a word? Now it is. Shastrically speaking, the fear is because of duality. Psychologically speaking, the fear is because of alienation. Very interesting. Totally opposite. Emotionally speaking, the fear is why? Because I am away from Ishvara. I am separate, I am lonely. You are not lonely. Cut away the L. You are only. That is the name of one of the Upanishads we are going to be studying. Kaivalya Upanishad. Kevalasya bhava Kaivalya. Kevala only and Kaivalya loneliness, not loneliness. Loneliness is something fearful. And same thing with grief also. Lonely, I become fearful. Lonely, I become filled with sorrow. But here, this is both of them are because of this emotional dependence on anatma. So after this sadhana, the practicing the sadhana, understanding that, and you can also do another sadhana saying I'm non-separate from everything that I see, from everything, I'm connected to everything. I'm connected to the breath, I'm connected to Vayu. Vayu is Atma, Vayu is Ishvara. Like this, we can do this. There are many such oneness meditations that also helps. And there is a two-pronged approach the Upanishads take. One is some Upanishads may take it upon themselves to be predominantly fear-free Upanishads, to make one fear-free. This, the Brihadaranya Upanishad, this particular portion that we cited, and also the Taittiriya Upanishad fall into this category. Certain other Upanishads, most notably the Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 7, takes it upon itself to make one free of grief. Narada, the sage, goes to Sanat Kumara, and what does he say? Soham Bhagavaha. Oh, Soham, that means you are what? You are Bhagavan, you are saying I am Brahman. No. Soham means this is who I am. I am just not Soham. Oham. I am just bored. I am tired of myself. And I have sorrow. Shochami. Bhagavat Sadrishebhya, from people esteemed gurus like yourself, I have heard. What have I heard? Shokam Taratyatmavidu, the knower of the eye crosses sorrow. Shokasya varam tarayatu Bhagavan. Please, O Lord, take me to the other side of sorrow, happiness, which is myself. So the Upanishads specifically and in detail through various prakriyas, methodologies, are poised to make the person grief free and fear free. In the meantime, till that knowledge is assimilated, we can do a little bit of psychological work and help ourselves. Emotional growth takes place, and we can also do the Upasana portion and look at some meditations for that. What is the difference between sadhana and samadhi? Samadhi means absorption, where the meditator and the object of meditation, it merges. It merges, and there is immersion in oneself. It is different from sleep in that there is no snoring. Okay? Yeah. So one is awake, aware, and one is not there, and one is there, one is not there. It is like that. So that is samadhi. Sadhana means any kind of practice towards a certain goal. That's the definition. Then, this is a very nice question, interesting. Who is the one saying, Ahameva idam sarvam? Ahameva idam sarvam, first we'll understand what that means. Aham, I, eva, indeed, idam, all this, sarvam, idam sarvam, all this I am. All this means whatever I see, whatever I experience, I am. So who is this person who is saying that? Very interesting. Is it Jiva? Is it Ishvara? Is it somewhere in between? Or is it nobody in particular? Very interesting. So the aham here is the I that has walked over from identifying with one particular body, mind, sense complex to claiming everything as itself. That is the aham. Usually aham means the I, that is the I notion, which is firmly identified with the body, the mind, the senses, the feelings and complexes, complaints, all that. That aham we are very familiar with. Okay? And so the other aham is the real autobiography. You heard of this book, right? Autobiography of a yogi. Yeah. But what we write is, what the Jiva writes is autobiography of a yogi. Yes. Yogi means a conspicuous consumer. Chapter 1, oh no, oh no. Chapter 2, why me? Chapter 3, when is this going to end? Chapter 4, nothing is going my way. Chapter 5, conclusion, no. To be continued, because again another life one will take up. So this is what generally the people have ideas about the I. Uninitiated by the Shastra, this is what we think of ourselves. Oh no, what am I doing? I am guilty, I am hurting, I am in pain, I am sorrowful. Oh, I am making too many mistakes. Oh, I cannot handle myself. Now fearful, now tearful, now fragile. This is what I think about myself. This is what I feel firmly. And I am convinced this is who I am. The Shastra comes like a breath of gentle, fresh air, like we experience walking on the river. You know, there's a hot area where there are some buildings, and then you cross that and you walk, and there is a sudden, fresh, cool air that comes from the river. And so the Shastra is like that, gentle and very soft and cool. And the Shastra rewrites this sad, miserable autobiography. Chapter 1, you are the whole. And chapter 2, let me show you how. Chapter 3, Avastha Traya Prakriya. You are, the sleeper is you are not the sleeper. The waker is you are not the waker. The dreamer is you are not the dreamer. You populate everything, all the states, while being free of all of them. Chapter 4, no more sorrow. Chapter 5, no more fear. Chapter 6, the end of rebirth and everything. This is what the Upanishad tells. And so that is why it is a walk from the first autobiography which I have summarily rejected. Nobody likes the first autobiography. Nobody likes what we have written about ourselves. We all want the Shastra's version. And so taking, but somehow there could be some blocks, and because of the strength of one's own conviction in taking up the Shastra's version, even though I want it badly. So therefore, as this journey, the so-called journey from myself identified with this body expands to include the whole universe. The word myself includes the entire universe. When that happens, one can say, I am all this. I have been practicing japa for some time, but I feel it difficult to practice it when I am outside the room or in public. Please guide. Do not practice japa outside the room. Do not practice it in public. Yeah. It is meant for you. Yeah. It is meant for you. No problem. You are fine. You don't have to practice japa in public. If you feel like doing japa, go to the room. In public, when we are distracted. So when somebody will come and talk to you, he will ask you, why are you here? oh, what japa are you doing? All these things. Yeah. So then, in fact, when we come to the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, it will say, go to a Vijana Pradesha, go to a place which doesn't have many people. So that is in fact the whole point of japa is to spend time with ourselves. So no problem, keep doing it in your room, doesn't matter. So this we have already done. What are the benefits of mantra parayana in general and Gita parayana in particular? How to do it effectively? See, benefits of Parayana. Parayana means repetition. Repeating the verses, and then the questioner also says mantra. I mean other, by which I assume they mean other shlokas, etc. So, Parayana is repetition. The benefit is that the mind becomes quiet and sharp at the same time. Sharp because it is Ishvara. Gita is Ishvara, and mantras are connected to Ishvara. Everything is connected to Ishvara, so we have that feeling it is sacred. This is what it is. So mantra, if you repeat, you become a bhakta. But supposing somebody keeps saying Meenakshi, Meenakshi, Meenakshi being the neighbor's name, okay? So one fellow keeps saying Meenakshi, 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 nothing, no punya, no benefit at all, no ekagrata. The same person starts to look at Meenakshi as Bhagavati, goddess Meenakshi, who is the reigning deity of Madurai. Om Meenakshi Namaha. If you say like that, then then there is benefit because Ishvara is there. Whenever Ishvara is involved, punya comes. That is adrishta phala, long-term effect, and then drishta phala, peace and quiet comes. How to do it effectively? If possible, do it in a group or at least with another person. Then you are a little more a little more accountable, and then there is also a joy of doing it with somebody else. If Duryodhana, after committing so many sins, in the end, if he asked this knowledge and somehow assimilated it, does that mean he would also have achieved moksha after all that he has done? Yes, resounding yes, absolutely yes. Because this knowledge frees one of karma. And in order to come to the knowledge, the person should have done so much atonement, prayashchitta. Why Duryodhana look at Valmiki? So much, he was a highway robber and killed everybody who came, whoever, and then one day he tangled with his prarabdha, tangled with Narada the sage. And then Narada said, "You're doing wrong." "No, how can I be doing wrong?" "Yes, you are. You're killing all these people." "No, give me what's in your bag." Narada said, "One banana and 2 chapatis. They are in my bag. Take." Somebody packed it for my journey. Take it. He says, "No, I want gold." "I don't have gold." And guess what? You are really not living a good life. And then, no, I'm doing it for my family. He says, "Okay, I'll wait here. Go ask your family if they are going to take part in your papa." When he goes home, everybody is scared to see him. He just went out to work. What happened? So, because he is a nocturnal person, goes out at night when everybody is sleeping. So then he wakes up the children first. "Darlings, Papa has to do some not very nice things, but I'm bringing you cars, toys, dolls. I'm a good daddy, right?" And the children say, "We are too sleepy. why are you asking us all this? Will you share something if bad things accrue to me? I said, of course not. Why should we share? We just want to go to sleep, and they promptly went to sleep. Then he asked his wife, will you share some bad karma with me? She said, it is my bad karma to be married to the one like you. Why should I share further bad karma? Then he takes up the elderly mother and father, and what does he say to them? Same thing. And they say, we told you not to do this. And we are aged and infirm and we have nowhere else to go. We don't have any children. That's why we are staying with you. But we will not take part in this power. And he comes back to Narada, a changed man. He said, how can I right this wrong? All these wrongs. Says, you please repeat Rama Rama. And he says, Rama Rama. And he takes it seriously. That repetition of the Rama Rama is the atonement. So if the likes of Duryodhana has come to Vedanta, because Vedanta does not appeal to people who are doing a lot of wrongdoing, who are into wrongdoing. That has to be given up first. And then that feeling must be there. Oh no, I have messed up a lot of lives. I shouldn't have done this. Not feeling like, oh, I'm very guilty all the time. No, but really genuinely seeing, I have been accountable for so many wrong things. I want to wash this all off. And then once that is done, then definitely there is redemption. Definitely moksha is there, because moksha is yourself. And that is what has to be understood. All karmas die away in the light of this knowledge. Is Karana Sharira unique for each individual or same for all individuals? You can say it is Ajnana, so it is what? More or less same. Why did Arjuna not gain moksha? I don't think it says in the Gita, Arjuna did not gain moksha. Okay? So we should, and then we should also know that if Bhagavan is teaching, definitely anybody taught by Bhagavan directly will gain moksha. Alright, second reason. And thirdly, what is that? Arjuna is asked to fight. And Arjuna is not asked to not take up sannyasa. So this is a very different thing. Sannyasa is not equal to moksha. Alright? So jnanam is equal to moksha. In fact, at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, he is going to say, Nashto mohaha, I have lost my delusion. Smritir labdha, I have regained my senses. And therefore, Karishye Vachanam Tava. Now I will go to the war with a calm mind because I am a free man. And this verse we will be studying on the 27th of November, the date at which we are going, we hope. Okay? So, this is our last one. Sometimes my own intellectual understanding of Veda remains at the Buddhi's level. How do I connect my understanding of Vedanta, with that of the Shastra? Is there any danger in finding answers on my own intellectual level or understanding? Not if the understanding is in keeping with the Shastra. No problem at all. Because even when you study from the Shastra, you have to make it your own anything. So, once you gain this knowledge, you have to assimilate it. It is in the beginning, the brahmachari is a eager cow let loose by the farmer on a pasture of grass. The cow has no sense of time. The cow says, oh my God, I have not seen such fresh grass. Eats. And then the farmer is not calling it back. Okay, what to do now? sit under the shade of the tree when it had eaten everything in a hurry. So it brings up all the grass and then slowly makes a smoothie of wheat grass juice and slowly chews the cud and assimilates the grass. It has the ability to recall everything from the closest stomach. It has 4 stomachs, we are told, and then it chews it and sends it to stomach number 2. Same thing we have to do. First, the eager brahmachari grazes in the grasses of the mundaka, the Katha Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad grass. Oh, this is very tasty. Bhagavad Gita grass. Oh, Kaivalya is the tastiest of all. And let me do this, let me do that. Kena Upanishad, how could I forget this? The Kena Upanishad pasture has many, many daisies. Let me go and graze there. And then afterwards, what? You have to make it one's own. So so this is what one has to do. So the buddhi, then one thing to remember, this is a very important thing to remember, is that without buddhi, no knowledge can take place. But the buddhi is not the agent or the factory of the knowledge. It is simply a receptacle where the knowledge is shining, where the knowledge is received. So all the sadhanas we have, all the things, all the yajnas, all the sadhanas are to make the buddhi strong enough and a fit candidate to receive the knowledge. So the buddhi is important, it is useful. But right now what happens is that we have to see if the knowledge which the buddhi generates is in keeping with the Shastra or not. If it is in keeping with the Shastra, well and good. Then we need not have this conversation with ourselves. If it is not in keeping with the Shastra, some adjustment is needed. What do? Drop the Shastra. No. Drop the buddhi. Tell it to come from the back door. There is a service entrance for all the service items and the service people. So tell it to come as the domestic help that will help me gain the knowledge. It is not the king. It has to be dethroned and it has to be sent out and it has to be asked to come back as a helper, not as someone who is the agent of this knowledge. Nobody is the agent of this knowledge. Knowledge simply is, it is you. And so the buddhi is made to come back as a seva, to do seva for this knowledge. The buddhi is in service of the knowledge. It is not allowed to churn out what it thinks unless what it thinks is in alignment with the Shastra. Then it is okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Tomorrow meditation.